This is the entrance to the game room up the stairs. I've got various posters, cool Wonder Woman poster that I found at Target shortly after the movie came out. I got a lot of Star Wars, cool old magazine poster, various pieces of art. I really love that Planet of the Apes poster right there. Get some autographed prints, stuff all the way up here. Trying to increase this particular collection as I go, and you'll see a running theme of my room is things that I want to upgrade. You come up the stairs here in the loft, got a lot of books up top. We've got interlibrary loans, currently reading, and in the middle of, and then just various books I'm reading, mostly science fiction and horror, fantasy. Over here is just a bunch of Stephen King novels. This is actually, you can see this is stacked 2 levels deep. I'm only missing a few of his books down there. Got some manga, Dungeons and Dragons manuals, some workbooks. Here we've got a bunch of comics on this shelf. Ton of Conan the Barbarian, Marvel, DC, Star Wars. Up here you can see this is a really cool box set. This came with all the MCU movies up to Avengers 1. There's a button on top that glows like the Tesseract. Here we have it's actually a puppet of Cthulhu. It was actually something that I got for my daughter before she was born. I don't think she's super into it. Here's some various gaming novels, player's guides, journals. Some neat little stuff on the wall. Down here is my VHS collection. This one's got nothing but Star Wars and Star Trek in it. Let's see what's in here is westerns, action movies, some fantasy, some anime, some action movies here. What do we got in here? A-Team. More action movies on VHS. Down here we got some comedies, Austin Powers, etc., etc. Down here, science fiction and fantasy, including Abraxas, Guardian of the Universe, starring Jesse the Body Ventura. Not the best movie in the world. Have a cool little end table here. It's like a Mod Podge of actual comic book pages. You can see another little appearance by Conan the Barbarian. This is my retro little couch found at the YMCA thrift store. That VT blanket my mom made. Got that gamer pad, I think from Target. This is a pillow I got off Etsy of some odd Jeff Goldblum fan art from Jurassic Park. My end table. Got some PlayStation coasters. Down there you can see this is a loft. This is where we're at over here. I need to replace this chair. I could use a nice recliner or something. This is the glider that we got for my daughter when she brought home, and there's a blanket on it because there's a good sized barf stain right there. Let's move over here. This corner is a pile of junk right now. There was a shelf over here, and I removed that so that I can put a desk. I believe that's coming next week. But over here, you see this old CRT TV. I'm probably going to get rid of this. There's not really a lot of room in here for that. And in here, we got some old consoles that aren't actually cooked up, including this right here. This is from 1978, a Sears Telegames Pinball Breakaway. That super doesn't work. Over here, I got a little bit of shelf for some storage. Not a whole lot of interesting stuff. This is mostly just repair tools for game consoles, extra cables, that kind of stuff. But these are kind of neat. These are game magazines, including some specialty retro gamer magazines. But this one's way cooler. So I got a bunch of old monster magazines from the 60s here. Famous Monsters of Filmland. Here I got a comic, Marvel Preview Presents Star-Lord. This is like the second appearance of Star-Lord. Old creepy comics magazine from the 50s. What else is in here? More monsters. Look at that sweet painting of Godzilla, King Kong. That's cool as hell. Over here, I got my main TV, 4K, smart TV. This is where I got all the high def games hooked up. You can see the Switch, the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Xbox, Wii U. These have game controllers, various game controllers in it. You know, a whole lot of stuff just wrapped up in there. Not really very well organized, but easy to grab. Got my VCR here. And then here is a switcher for everything that's actually hooked up through composite cables. Now, this is a cable management nightmare over here. Got some ideas to better organize it, but everything that's hooked into that composite switcher is actually hooked into this old CRT TV, Apex mono sound. It's my NES from my childhood, my original NES. It's got an old Xbox controller sitting there. There's a bunch of controllers hooked up here for charging. PlayStation 2 and 64, GameCube, Sega Master System. Down here, I got a Sega Genesis hooked up to a Sega CD. Up at the top here, you can actually see some of the boxes. I got my NES action set. That's from 1988, where I got my original Nintendo. And then back here is the Magnavox Odyssey 2. You can see there's a little bit of water damage. That's an old box. That was actually a competitor to the original Atari 2600, but the Magnavox Odyssey 1 was actually the first game console to actually use interchangeable cartridges. And then over here, I think we're going to put like some shelving or maybe a house plant over here. Look at this stick. It's just a cool stick. I found it at Claytor Lake when I was in college. And for some reason, of all the things that I've gotten rid of in my life, I still got that stick. I don't know. But anyways, here's my closet. Big double door walk-in closet in our loft. And this is actually where I keep all my media shelves. In here, you can see all my games are set up. These are some great wooden shelves that are actually the only remnants left of our favorite bookstore in Manhattan, Kansas. My wife and I loved going to that used bookstore. But you can see a whole lot going on here. Video games, got some movies. Actually, if I walk into the closet, there's another one right here. It's got some fantasy novels. If I go down here, you can actually see at the bottom more Conan. That is all Conan the Barbarian. I'm a big fan. But got a lot of games up here. We got Sega Master System, Sega CD, Sega Genesis, my Game Gear, Wii U. Got some handheld consoles there. Original PlayStation. Down here, PlayStation 3, PSP, Xbox and Xbox 360 along the bottom, PS4, PS2, some Nintendo handheld. I actually made these custom Game Boy cases out of cassette tapes. It's pretty cool. These are all custom cases too. Switch games. Now playing. My in-laws, when they bought their house, they found this little now playing thing. I think it was meant to be CDs because the DVD won't fit in there. But hey, those are the games I'm playing. Look at this. This is Ripley from Alien. I actually named my daughter after Ripley. Her middle name is Ripley. Paltry collections, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, GameCube, and up here is my NES collection. Got a few boxed games, about 100 of them, give or take. Over here we got some movies, including my Gilmore Girls box set. I mostly like science fiction and horror. You can see some of these. I got a nice little Godzilla collection here. Naturally, I got all of the movies in the MCU, Lord of the Rings. These are my favorite movies of all time right here. I love Planet of the Apes. Got all of those. Naturally, got a bunch of old monster movies here that I love watching, including these Universal monster movies from the 30s and 40s and so on. It won't fit on the shelf. This is a special edition DVD of Akira, one of my favorite movies. Got some TV shows, Batman animated series. Love The Simpsons. Pretty obsessed with The Simpsons my whole life there. And over here, like I said, it's mostly science fiction and fantasy. Asimov, Clarke, Michael Crichton. I was a big Michael Crichton fan growing up, read a lot of his novels. Heinlein, got most of Heinlein's novels, and so on. And naturally, we got to end it on the most important part, corner full of junk. I'm actually planning on expanding these shelves inside this closet just so I can take advantage of the space, because this is obviously busting at the seams, and I ain't gonna stop buying them anytime soon. I got a little footstool in here. Anyways, that's my game room. Got a few upgrades planned. Want some new furniture, replace these shelves with something nicer. Get a nice L-shaped desk over here in the corner for a gaming PC setup. Give me a rug and a coffee table and a recliner. It's a pretty cozy little space. That's just a quick overview, though. Nothing too special. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the space that you found to batten down in these odd times. And I'll get you a little example of that checkpoint assignment.